Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. So, there is a lot of excitement going into the Western Conference Finals considering generational talents like Stephen Curry and Luka Doncic will be squaring off against each other. The two superstar guards are ready to set the cash registers ringing in San Francisco and Dallas, courtesy of their respective fan following. While the odds tilt slightly in favor of the Warriors, it wouldn't be a wise choice to sleep on the Mavericks. In the build up to the Western Conference Finals, the Mavs had a 3-1 regular season record against the Dubs. Nonetheless, Golden State Warriors knows how to flip the switch come playoff time. As we edge closer to game 1 at the Chase Center, parties from both sides have been attending press conferences, answering questions regarding their respective strategies and matchups. Both the Warriors and Mavericks have former NBA champions coaching them in Steve Kerr and Jason Kidd. So during their recent media interactions, Kerr and Kidd gave their takes on facing each other as players. There is no denying that Kidd was the more accomplished player when compared to Kerr. Currently coaching the Mavericks, Kidd is regarded as one of the all time point guards to grace the NBA hardwood. The 10-time All Star ranks fourth on the list of all time triple double leaders. On the other hand, Kerr is remembered for being part of one of the greatest dynasties in American sports, the Chicago Bulls. One of the biggest highlights of his career continues to be his game winning against the Jazz in the 97 NBA Finals. However, on the coaching side of things, Kerr takes the cake. The recently crowned top 15 coach of all time has revolutionized the game of basketball with the Warriors, with things heating up again ahead of the Western Conference Finals. Kerr and Kidd had the following to say about facing each other as players. Jason Kidd and Steve Kerr about to coach against each other in the conference finals. They once faced each other as players. Kerr said, overwhelming speed and force, brilliant player. Kidd responded saying, yeah, I remember facing Steve. He had Michael Jordan. So let's hear it from their own words, everybody.
Facing you back in the day in his playing days. Do you remember facing him at all?
That's a great question. Yeah, I remember facing Steve. He had Michael Jordan.
You remember facing MJ a little bit more than Steve?
Steve always made the big shots. Steve was a great competitor, a great NBA player. He doesn't get his just due. He played his role at a high level, and he won. He's a winner, and that's what makes Steve special.
What do you remember about facing Jason Kidd? I didn't guard him, thankfully. I think the biggest thing I remember about Jason was just the overwhelming speed and force that he played with in transition. Even after made baskets, he'd come barreling down. You didn't really see how strong he was until you played against him. You know, on TV, maybe you couldn't see it as much, but when the game started, you felt his force, and he was obviously a brilliant passer. Just played with this wonderful pace and energy, and made the game easier for his teammates. Just a brilliant player.
So let me play that one more time for you guys.
Steve Kerr talked a little bit today about facing you back in the day in his playing days. Do you remember facing him at all?
That's a great question. Yeah, I remember facing Steve. He had Michael Jordan.
You remember facing MJ a little bit more than Steve?
Steve always made the big shots. Steve was a great competitor, a great NBA player. He doesn't get his just due. He played his role at a high level, and he won. He's a winner, and that's what makes Steve special.
What do you remember about facing Jason Kidd? I didn't guard him, thankfully. I think the biggest thing I remember about Jason was just the overwhelming speed and force that he played with in transition. Even after made baskets, he'd come barreling down. you didn't really see how strong he was until you played against him. You know, on TV, maybe you couldn't see it as much, but when the game started, you felt his force, and he was obviously a brilliant passer. Just played with this wonderful pace and energy, and made the game easier for his teammates. Just a brilliant player.
So basically, that was them talking. While Coach Kerr had nothing but praise for Kidd as a player, the latter took a sly dig at Kerr for being remembered as Michael Jordan's teammate. However, that was Kidd's sense of humor talking, as he didn't hesitate to give the Warriors coach his flowers as a role player. Well, it would be interesting to see who has the last word with Game 1 taking place on Wednesday night in the Bay Area. I don't see a dig. I mean, it was being honest. It's like, dog, you're Steve Kerr. Like, why does everybody why does everybody love to make a big deal out of what they say? Steve Kerr was a role player. So, you know how it is. Shaquille O'Neal taking another dig. Shaquille O'Neal's lame. Taking another dig, but I'm gonna talk more about the series. I got the Mavs winning in seven. I think they win that in seven. Um, of course, Shaq is fan of Curry. It's like Shaquille O'Neal act like he did something. Dog, you didn't really do nothing before Kobe or after Kobe. So that's the thing that I don't understand. You didn't do anything after Kobe. You weren't even that good in Miami. Like even in Orlando, you were prematurely put in the top 50. Now, I'm not giving Kevin Durant a pass. That's cupcake to Kent right now. But dog, you are Shaquille O'Fat. You were never in shape like that. You were lazy as hell. You were quick to go party and eat a burger. You weren't a leader. You didn't lead by example. You ain't do nothing. You were selfish. You always wanted the ball. You always dominated the ball. You always cried about when you didn't get your touches. So so that's all I'm saying. People love to take digs at stuff. You know, you guys talk about Steph Curry. What has Steph Curry done besides break a three-point record? A lot of his rings he won off of injuries. Steph LeBron had injuries the first time around. Then the second time around, yeah, they got Draymond suspended. They were on their way to win that series. Steph, I think, had a pretty good first 3 games, 4 games. You know, Steph is a Hall of Famer, great player, but he's a role player. In this time and age, if it was back in the day, he would be a role player. Shaq was a role player or number 2 option. You arguably played with 3 of the top guards at their position. They were at least top 5 or the best guards in the league. But the thing with Jason Kidd and Steve Kerr is like there's no comparison. Jason Kidd is a better coach than Steve Kerr. Better adjuster, puts his players to me in better positions. Steve Kerr thing is he relies on a coach on the court, which is Draymond, Steph, and them. So Steve Kerr has had the luxury of having to me a Ferrari, and all he had to do was not crash the Ferrari. Jason Kidd didn't have that luxury. Jason Kidd came into maybe a Cadillac. Luca and everybody else, is role players, don't really have a secondary star. And he had to change that team's whole dynamic. He had to tell Luca, you got to stop crying so much. You got to move the ball more. You got to do a lot of things. Defensively, they've gotten better. They're one of the best top defensive teams left in the playoffs. So people have to stop poo-pooing on defense and actually give it respect. But I got Dallas winning in 7. I'll do another analysis. I'll probably talk about the game later on tonight when I get off. So thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if y'all love what y'all hear, y'all could donate to the page, by going to the description box, hitting that Cash App link. That'll take you to my Cash App, and you can basically donate whatever your heart's desire. And also, if you guys would like to super chat, you guys can. And if you would like to super thanks, you guys can. So thank you guys for listening, man. We out. Deezy.